Hi, welcome back to the next section of our Java tutorial for CC 200 class. So in this video, you need to learn how to use a constant in Java. So first, we should understand the standard naming convention that people need to name. A class in Java, we've said, is going to be a title case, like class name has to be capitalized, like hello. H is capitalized. Now, for the variables in Java, we're going to be lower case. Okay, so class title case, right? Lowercase for the variables and the methods. You may see an example when we do main is the method name, lowercase, and variables could be like feet, height. Okay. Now for constants, so we need to name it in all uppercase. And what's constant? Constant is a values that rarely change or not going to change at all. So for example, like pi, like when we try to find area of circle, we say pi in math. Like sometimes we use for like interest rates, something like that. Now, or even like a dollars, a quarters, those are always the same. So right, quarters, down, nickel. So those are constants. Sum up an example. Now today lesson we can learn how to declare and use the constants in Java. In Java, we're going to use the final keyword as to define constants. And we're going to use a VI. VI is an editors, okay, like text editors, to write a Java program for the Mac and Unix users. And for the Windows user, you need to use Notepad. So the difference is this is the Mac. When you go to search, you can open your terminal. Okay. But for the Windows users, you can use CMD. Okay. And now I'm going to open my terminal. I'm going to clear the screen. So for CMD, you can see like a prompt with a greater than sign. But this is Mac, so it's pretty much going to learn how to use the command here. So some basic command is ls. ls is for the Mac users. For Windows, you can do dir. Okay. So what it does is it's gonna list all the directory out, all the files and directory inside this location. Okay. Like if you use a browsers, I mean the fighters in Mac and Windows Explorers, pretty much that's going to be for the Windows users. You can click on Documents, Workspace, Hello, Source. So that is just how you browse into the path to your file for hello.java. So in terminals, you're gonna say cd, and you pretty much just need to know the path here. So if I get info, this is the path to the file, which is users, and my login name, tcan1chai, and the documents folder, workspace, and hello. I mean, I can technically type them or copy and paste them, and cd stand for change directory. So this is going to be the same with Mac, Unix, or Windows CMD users. So use the same command, stand for change directory. Like for example, if I want to change to that location of the directory, so I can just paste that cd to users tcan1chai, documents, workspace, and hello. Messy, now it's taking me to the hello path. And in Unix environments like Mac here is pretty much just going to show the $signs as the prompt and the login username here. Now if I do ls, it's going to show me bin and source just like this. And if I just cd into src, change directory into source, just like I click the source here, it's going to show me the hello.java right there. Now let me show you how to compile and run. So for example, if I save the file in this location, source folder, to compile I need to write java c. In Eclipse, you pretty much, what we have done is we just write a program and we just click run hello. The program will compile and run at the same time, which is going to show the output right here. What is it compile and run means? Compiling in Java, you need the Java C, that is a Java compiler. And to run, you need to write Java. So Java C is going to follow by the file name java.java. Okay, so this is called a compiler. Now to run, you need to type Java and followed by the file name. Okay, now this is just to run. And again, Java file name and class name always the same name, right? Like if I type class hello, my Java file name has to be hello.java. So this is very important. So now we got to switch back to the terminal. In Unix or Mac we call terminal. In Windows, okay, let me type to show you a terminal, right? In Windows we call you type command or console. We call console. Now to access to that, you just type cmd, okay, at the search box, which for Windows is at the bottom left corner, right, when you go to the Windows symbols at the bottom left. But for terminal, okay, terminal is for the Unix users. So let me say this is Windows user, right? For the terminal is for the Unix, like, or Mac. Okay, Mac is based on the Unix, so they use terminal users. So how to get to terminal? Right here on the search box, just type terminal. Okay, so type the word terminal. Right at the search box, and this is going to be on your top right corner. Now, I would recommend or suggest you to start installing, okay, a Unix environment to use to get yourself familiarized with the terminals and how to use VI, things like that. So in the next video, we're going to show you how to do that and also run Java and things like that from Unix terminal. Now for this one, we're just going to understand some basic of how to compile. Like I said, Java C is the one who compile. You're going to compile followed by the Java file name.java. So now if there's an error, it's going to show the errors, just like when there's an error on Eclipse. Like for example, when you run and you happen to miss some account, this is an error in Eclipse, it's just show you right away. But it's going to be different. Let's see, I'm going to compile this. There you go. In terminal, it's going to show the errors right here. And how to read this one error. File hello.java, line 4, missing semicolon. It says semicolon is expected at the end, system.out.println hello right there. So to fix that, we just need to add the semicolon back. Okay, like just showing you, we can either run your file using Eclipse, write Java from Eclipse, or we're going to use VI to show you, but now I'm going to VI to write the Java code, but now I'm going to just show you how to compile, okay, and run in terminal. So again, to compile, we just type java c hello.java and no errors. It's going to say nothing here. If there's an error, it's going to show right there. And this type of errors we call syntax errors. There are 3 types of errors so far. One is syntax. Okay, in programming we have 3 types of errors. One is syntax, so you just see the syntax errors. So the second one is runtime. So the error will show up when you run the program. And last one is, so we have syntax, runtime. Like when you loop, or we call it keep going and never stop. Let me check real quick. Alright, programming types of errors. Syntax and logic, yes. Compile time errors, runtime errors. So let's talk about this a little bit. So syntax, we just see that like you're missing semicolon, you're spelling wrong, then that's syntax. Like I just showing you an example, right? That's syntax. Or spelling the keywords wrong, like print ln, you just say print with missing t. So that's syntax errors. So syntax errors is easy to fix. Now, semantic errors. Errors due to an improper use of program statements. And logical errors. So we will see syntax and logic and runtime or compile time errors. That's a common one. So syntax and semantic is pretty much in the same group here. Okay, that's why we just make it in 3 main groups. So logical errors. Errors due to the fact that the program doesn't work as expect. Like for example, I wanted to say 1 plus 2 is supposed to say 3, but it happened to be not showing 3. Sometimes that's what but this one is good, but sometimes it will not show, right? So because of the logic errors. But this one has no logic errors. Now for runtimes, like this one, when you run the program, there's no errors. But sometimes when you deal with, for example, if I say in x, okay, and x equals to now it's int, so let's give in some number 0. I said x equal to 0. So let's see what happens. Normally, a runtime is going to deal with like an array. When you deal with an array, you will see a runtime like that. An array index of bounds. So that's the runtime. But we're not talking about the topic of an array yet. But some of the program errors just throw out during runtime. That's runtime errors. Alright, so and we say logic errors. Okay, those are 3 main types. Alright, so now come back. We're going to we don't have any errors. We're going to run the program. To run, we just type Java and follow by the class name, and it's going to show the output right there, just like the same way that you use Eclipse. And in Eclipse, it's going to show the output at the bottom screen right here, right? So this is like terminal, but we call console, right? Now that is how you use the console or terminals to compile and run Java program from scratch without using IDEs. That IDEs is like Eclipse. Okay, so those are IDEs like NetBeans, Eclipse, JGraphs, TextPad. We call IDE. Okay, like now IDE stand for Integrated Development Environment. Okay, so I said like Eclipse. That's just an example. Now we're not going to write a program with IDEs for this session. We're going to start to learn how to use just normal text editors like VI or Notepad to write program. Alright, for the Windows user, you're going to go to your search again and type Notepad to open up, okay? Open up your Notepad. But for the Macs or Unix users, we're going to switch back to terminal and type VI. Okay, VI just like Notepad or text editors in the Unix or Mac environments, and followed by the file name. And what we're going to introduce you today to create constants. We're going to write a simple program, okay, to declare constants and use this. I'm going to write a program to find area of circle. Alright, so I'm going to call circle. So we type vi and followed by the file name .java. Okay, so you have to do dot. Now it's going to open the vi. This is an empty text editors. Now vi has it's not like a notepad. Okay, notepad you can just type right away. In vi, if I try to type, it's not going to type until I hit I and escape to go back. Let me the command, okay, for VI. First I stand for insert. That means you try to insert something on your text. You want to delete, you do X equals to delete a like a character, okay, and you going to do delete a character in front of the cursor, okay. If you do that lowercase x, now uppercase x is going to, these are just the command to just use VI. Deleted characters. Okay, behind cursors. Okay. Alright. And after you're done, you have to hit escape. Okay. This is going to exit from editing mode or typing mode. Okay. Okay. And then you, after you hit escape, you have to learn that command, like we're gonna have to type colon WQ, okay, and that means, and followed by exclamation mark and then enter, okay. So this means, I mean, enter mean enter key, so this means you write and quit of the VI, and it's going to take you back to the terminal mode. So these are the commands that we're going to use. So switch back. First I to insert, it's going to say insert mode now. Then you can type public class, and I name it circle. Remember, class name and file name has to be the same name. Now we're going to say public static void main string bracket args. Okay, now we're going to start to declare a constant. A constant we like to declare before the main inside the class right here. So we're going to name it public, okay, static final, and pi. We're going to use a pi as the constant. Pi is going to be double type, and the name of constant always all uppercases. So 3.141, okay, 59.14159. If I want to delete, like I said, we use X to delete, but I'm not in the delete mode. I have to escape out. Then I can use X to delete right there. And I have to do I to insert back to go to the typing mode and put semicolon. Okay. If you don't do escape out, then you pretty much typing X. When you escape out, you do the delete mode. Okay. Now, like I said, you can use backspace. That's the same thing. But when you are in Unix environments, you may not be able to use the backspace, okay, or delete key. Now, public static void main. So we're going to create a couple of variables to use here. Double, we want to find area. We just say double area and initialize to 0. This is double, so 0.0. And we might want to use radius too. We can do on the same line, equals to 0.0. Okay. So next is we need to prompt the user to give us the input. So let's see if we can use J option pane dot show input dialog. right? Enter a radius. Okay. So in order to find an area of circle, we need the radius. Now, this is not an eclipse, so you need to do import statement from scratch. So java x dot swing dot j option pin. Alright, so you pretty much just need to familiarize yourself with those statements and all the Java syntax. Use VI or Notepad. It's a good practice. Now we are able to get the inputs from the users, which is going to be a string, right? That returning in. So we're going to need to convert that. So we learned how to convert that from the previous sessions. We can declare a string type of radius, right? And put it in there and then do the converts from that string type to the double type. Now I'm going to do a shortcut at this point. I'm going to call double dot parse, P-A-R-S-E, double. It's going to read in a string, right? So I need to convert a string like the whole statement here and return a string back. So I can actually do the shortcut by not declaring a string radius variables to hold its values, but just put it directly through the parentheses here, or call arguments here is going to pass in and convert it directly to the radius. It adds double for me, so that should work too. Now I get the radius, then I'm ready to say j option pin dot show message dialog and to say the area of the area of a circle with, let's do that, with radius of, and say radius, the one that the user input, concatenate back. It could be 5 or any input here, right? Is, and then we're going to have to find area, right? So let me do calculation of the area first. Area equals to, now I'm going to use the constant pi, right? R squared pretty much just multiplying with asterisk twice, pi r, sorry, so radius twice, right? Times radius times radius pi r squared. And then we can just put output right here, say the area of a circle with radius of is, and then type area. Alright, so now most importantly, this is not Eclipse, so you have to manually open your class, close your class, open your methods, and close your method. It has to be lining up like that. So if you don't feel like it's lining up, you can make it, some people just like to put it on a new line like that and make sure it's lining up. Then you don't forget that you need to close them, because if you don't close these curly braces, it's going to create asyntax errors. Alright, so we're done with insert mode. So we're going to go to escape and do colon WQ exclamation mark. I said this is going to write and quit the program. Now if I ls, you see the circle.java is right there. So I'm going to Java C, right, to compile this. Alright, so a lot of errors going on. These are syntax errors that we need to fix. So one error, class javax swing.j option pane show message dialog. Oh, I need to provide no right statements. That two parameters. I'm missing that. So how do I go back and fix that? You have to go back to your vi circle.java and go to the line that's showing in errors, which is this line. I have to pass the null, hit I to insert, then I can start to type, and now done fixing, escape out, colon WQ exclamation mark. It's going to override it. Let's compile. Oh, sorry. I happen to go back into this mode again, escape. And if you don't need to write, you just do colon Q exclamation mark just to quit. And go back to compile again. No errors. So let's run Java circle. There you go. So it's pop up the message dialog. Enter a radius. So 5. The area of circle radius of 5 is. Alright, so that's how we can write a program using VI, okay? Unix on Mac user, we call terminals, and we use VI. Now for the Windows user, you can do the same, exact the same thing, okay? But now at this point, what you need to do, you're going to use the command cmd, okay? Go to search and do cmd. You can type your program in Notepad, okay? You don't need to use the VI, and save the file in the folder. Okay, after you save the file in the folder, you just go to your cmd, okay, like that, and then you need to, some of you have to type set path, because when you type java c, it may say command like is something like it's not recognized, something like that. That means you need to set the path, okay? Like in Unix and Mac users, it's already set it for you, but for Windows, you need to manually set path equals to the location where you have your file or Java installed, which is normally in C colon program files, okay, and slash Java, okay, and then JDK 1 point, now it should be 8, depends on the update version, 40, or I would recommend you to browse to this path first by using your Windows Explorer, File Explorer to browse that, and go to bin, okay? So this should be the path that you do, something like that, okay? Set path, and alright, so I guess this video is going to end now, and enjoy coding. If you have questions or concerns, again, you can just go to post your concern on talkrebel.com. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.